Hey there, and welcome. If you've ever felt like your website is just a black box, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to demystify Google Analytics 4, or GA4, and basically hand you the keys to understanding who is visiting your site and, maybe more importantly, what they're actually looking for when they're there.
I mean, it's the most basic question for any of us with a website, isn't it? Who are these people? Are they new? Are they coming back for more? Are they from down the street or from halfway across the globe? Well, GA4 has the answers.
But it goes so much deeper than just who shows up. The real story is about what they do. Are they actually reading your articles? Are they clicking on that buy button you worked so hard on? Or are they taking one look and leaving immediately? Understanding their actions, that's where the magic really happens. So how do we get these answers? Well, it all starts with understanding why GA4 isn't just some other tool you can ignore. It's pretty much your website's essential health monitor. I absolutely love this analogy because it is just so true. Picture it. You own a beautiful store. You hear the little bell on the door jingling all day, so you know people are coming in. But you're blindfolded. You have no idea if they're loving your products, if they need help, or if they're just walking right back out in frustration. That is exactly what it's like to run a website without analytics.
So what is GA4 really? Well, it's Google's newest analytics platform, and the key thing to remember here is this phrase, event-based model. You see, older versions just counted how many times a page was viewed. GA4 is way smarter. It tracks actions, things like a scroll, a click, a video play. It's designed to give you a much richer story of the entire customer journey, from the first time they visit to the moment they buy something.
And here's why this is so important right now. This is not optional anymore. The old version, which was called Universal Analytics, is officially retired. It stopped working back in 2023. So if you want to understand your website traffic from this point forward, GA4 is literally the only game in town.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds super complicated, but I promise you, it's not. The whole setup process breaks down into just 3 simple, logical steps. Let's just walk right through them.
The entire process really just boils down to 3 words: account, connection, and code. First, you create your account and property. That's just telling Google who you are. Second, you build a connection with something called a data stream. And third, you install a little bit of code to turn the whole thing on. That's it. That is the entire roadmap.
Now, the single most important piece of information you'll get during this setup is your measurement ID. When you create that data stream, Google gives you this unique code that starts with a G-. This is your site's unique identifier. Think of it like the specific mailing address where all of your website's data needs to get sent.
Okay, this might be the most crucial tip in this whole thing. Seriously, don't skip this. Once you've put that code on your site, you have to make sure it's working. So you go to the Realtime report in GA4, and then in another browser tab, open your own website. If you see one active user pop up on the screen, that's you. It's that moment of truth that confirms data is flowing correctly from your site to Google. And with that, you are set up. So now for the payoff, right? It's time to turn all that raw data into actual insights. Let's look at the key reports you can use right away to start learning about your audience.
Look, don't get overwhelmed by all the menus. Just focus on these 3 to start. Traffic acquisition tells you how people found you. Was it a Google search, a link on social media? Then, pages and screens tells you what they liked. It shows you which pages are a hit and which are a miss. And finally, user attributes tells you who they are, giving you basic demographics. Together, these 3 answer the biggest questions you have about your website.
Now, this is a brilliant illustration of a huge upgrade in GA4. The old metric, bounce rate, just told you if someone left your site after looking at only one page. It was a pretty simple, kind of negative metric. GA4 throws that out and replaces it with engagement rate, which asks a much smarter question. Did the user have a meaningful interaction? That could mean they scrolled, they clicked something, or they just stayed on the page for more than 10 seconds. It's a positive measure of interest, not just a negative sign that they left.
So to recap, if you're just starting out, just keep an eye on these 4 things. Users, that's your audience size. Sessions, that's your total traffic. Engagement rate, that tells you if your content is actually interesting. And average session duration, how long are people sticking around? If you just start here, you'll have a fantastic baseline to measure your growth. All right, you are set up and you know the key metrics to watch. So how do you make this a sustainable habit instead of a chore? Let's cover 4 really simple practices to make sure you get long-term value from all this data. Just 4 simple habits.
First, start simple so you don't get overwhelmed. Second, use the demo account Google provides. You can click around and explore in a totally risk-free environment. Third, and this is a big one, link to Google Search Console. This is huge because it connects your traffic data to the exact search terms people typed into Google to find you. And finally, just do a quick monthly audit to make sure data is still flowing like it should.
And once you're feeling comfortable with all the basics, this is your next step. You can actually tell GA4 which actions are most important to you, like a newsletter sign-up or a product purchase, by marking them as a conversion. This is how you start connecting your website traffic directly to your actual business goals. It's a game changer.
Ultimately, your website is generating this incredibly valuable data every single day. It's sending you messages, clues about what's working and what isn't. Now that you've got Google Analytics 4 set up, the only question left really is, are you ready to listen?